Hello, everybody. This is Jennifer Fox with Fox Property Management, and this is Fox Talks for February of 2026. And what we're going to talk about today is how professional property management boosts ROI. So, professional property management is not just about handling the day-to-day tasks. It's a strategic investment that directly impacts both your cash flow and your long-term asset value. So, here are kind of a list of things that you can take into consideration as you are looking at, gosh, am I getting a return on investment on my property management? So first of all, professional property managers use real-time market data and collective data and collaboration to price properties competitively. With managing over 1,300 properties in the area, we have a very good sense of what the market's doing, and we're paying attention closely. So pricing units competitively, reducing vacancy time to the best of our ability, and avoiding underpricing that leaves money on the table. So we're doing all of that with an ROI impact of like higher effective rent and fewer lost days between tenants. So a lot of people who come to us oftentimes are under rent, or they really struggle with the transition time, and they tend to be off market for weeks to a month between tenants. And that's something that professional property management helps you to save time and money. Reducing vacancy and faster turnovers. It's another piece of this, which is we're planning ahead, right? We're planning ahead with our notices. We're planning ahead with our vendors. We're planning ahead with the transition that will be needed. We're planning ahead as we're marketing the property, giving enough time between tenants, but not too much time, getting estimates in advance. So there's a reduced vacancy and faster turnover between tenants when you're using professional management. So more income producing days per year should be expected as a return on investment for you. Stronger tenant quality. We have a staff here that is paying attention to fair housing and vetting and procedures and policies and processes that allow us to quickly and professionally vet tenants for your property. So this consistent screening standards that we have really help us to place good tenants and consistently place them. So we want people who are paying on time. We want people who are going to stay longer. We want people who are going to take good care of the property. So part of our process is to evaluate as much of that as we can to put the right people in the property for you using fair housing standards and protecting you from making those decisions yourself. So ROI on that is, we're hoping lower delinquency, fewer evictions, and reduced turnover costs. And I will tell you that our attorneys sent a note to us just recently. We are so low in our evictions that they want to put us on a different plan because we're on retainer with them, and they want to see on their retainers, eight plus evictions, and we've had less than 8 evictions in 2025 into 2026. It's like incredible, and part of that is because we work so hard to get the right tenants in and then work with those tenants to have them be successful. Proactive maintenance and cost control. Professional managers address issues early before they become expensive, oftentimes, because we're in touch with those tenants and they have easy access to us through the technology. We use trusted vendors, and we have great, pricing and quick response time from these vendors. And then balance preventative maintenance with some budget discipline, and your asset managers are working with you on what are the things that you need to put in place that we're going to do for you consistently so that your property is just cared for, and we are getting things taken care of before they become an emergency, saving you time and money. So lower long-term repair costs and extended life of major systems is a big, return on investment we hope that you see. Legal and regulatory compliance. So property managers stay current on, we stay current on fair housing, local and state rental laws, notice requirements, documentation standards. So the plan here is that we are reducing your risk of fines, lawsuits, and making costly mistakes. And by trusting us to be making those decisions for and with you, we hope that there's a great return on investment for you in stress and possible errors or incidentals that had you been using a property management company, you could have avoided. Improved asset preservation. So regular inspections, maintenance oversight, tenant accountability, tenant tools for tenants to report what's going on with the property. The goal is for us to protect the physical condition of the property, preserve curb appeal and interior condition with our site visits, our walkthroughs, and then maintain resale value. You may or may not sell your property during the time that you are under management with us, but what we want is your property to be maintained over time. And oftentimes, if you've had tenants living in your property for a long period of time, you're going to do some things before you sell it, but can we continue to keep the property in good condition along with cooperation from you over time that keeps both the tenants living happily in your property, that keeps the integrity of the property, and makes that transition to new tenants or onto the sales market much smoother. So the hope is a higher property value at sale and a stronger appreciation, and also just a better transition between tenants. This is a little bit, hard to quantify all the time, but, time and stress savings, when you hire property management, you're avoiding those late night calls if something goes wrong. You're avoiding the emergency coordination, legal missteps, tenant conflict. You're staying out of that emotional piece. You've got a buffer who's handling those things for you so that they do not become a highly stressful, event or situation for you. So, the hope on ROI with this particular topic is more time to focus on your strategy and your acquisitions, other investments, and, talking with your asset manager about what's next rather than dealing with the emergencies. We also hope that all the reports that we're offering you and that we have available to you provide you with good decision-making data. So you can look at what your P&Ls are each month. You can be working with the asset manager on plans for the year and improvements you want to do. So we're also hoping that the professional reporting we can provide gives you clear income and expense tracking, performance trends, early warning signs if things are like happening, or, it's usually very unique and unusual to have no maintenance happening. I mean, we also want to be making sure that we're continuing to evaluate the property, fix things, because sometimes if the tenant doesn't report anything, that's not good either. So we just need to be paying attention to the information. Kind of bottom line is that professional property management, it doesn't just protect the investment. It actively enhances the performance of your investment by increasing income, controlling costs, reducing risk, preserving long-term value. And so, the hope that we have is that you see property management as an excellent return on investment. It is saving you time. It is saving you money. It is saving you stress. It's creating partnership and accountability with an expert outside of yourself, that you can trust somebody else to help you with making these decisions and help you with solving problems and helping you with getting an outcome that you're happy with. And so it's my hope that this little video sort of reminds you that hiring property management makes a ton of sense, and that it is the way to go. If you are going to invest in property, you want to have great partnerships so that whatever you're doing in your investment, it's going well and it's being done properly, and that you have partnership that puts your mind at ease. So thank you so much for working with us and continuing to look at opportunities to bring on new investment properties, refer friends to us, and we're happy to give them all this information and support them in a way that also gives them a great return on their investment. Thank you.